Hi everyone, Cynthia E. Crawford here, CEO of Authentic Existence, where I'm dedicated to helping you see who God designs you to be. And I have been walking through The Ledger and the Chain, How Domestic Slave Traders Shaped America by Joshua D. Rothman for Black History Month. And I committed to doing it every Saturday. I'm far from being done. I will say this has been a very difficult read. With everything going on in the country and just with life itself. But I'm committed to continuing until I'm done. So we will keep forging forward. I am in the choices chapter, and that is going from the years 1815 through 1827. And it's so this book, for those of you who have not been with me, this is your first time joining, it is going over the careers of Isaac Franklin, John Armfield, and Rice Ballard, who built the largest and most powerful slave trading operation in American history. And it's going along with an initiative I'm doing called Choose to Love Forever, where L stands for look back, what can we learn from the past? O is observe the present. V is visualize the future. And E is each part is important and forms a continuum. And so, of course, the book is looking back to learn about how, like I said, how domestic slave traders shaped America. But there's a lot of things going on in the country currently that it's just helped me to see some of the, like I said, origins and now choices that have shaped how the country runs. And I hope we can learn from this and, like I said, visualize a better future that is not treating any American citizens as though they're less than human. And so this was talking about how this chapter starts off by talking about how Isaac Franklin had volunteered for military service. Um, and this was during the war. So he volunteered in 1813 to help with the War of 1812. And after volunteering for what he thought was supposed to be 3 months, and it was going on longer than anticipated, he was part of a group that wrote a letter to get out because, again, they were volunteers. But it goes on to talk about like how even so after he volunteered, that the triumph over the British forces below New Orleans in early 1815 was a stunning finish to the war that Franklin had abandoned. And while he did not see the war through, the outcome served his individual interests anyhow, because it meant demand for his skill set were about to soar. And his skill set, again, was he was one of the largest domestic slave traders that shaped America. And it talks about cotton. I think, even if you don't know much about American history, most people know that cotton had been linked to slavery. But what I found just so interesting was that the federal government and how they sold the land to the white migrants for them to be able to, like I said, grow the cotton that would make the country very profitable. And because I put right here, I have an asterisk. So I mean, it's just so much detail, and that's why I try to go through and make notes as I'm reading. But I have a dollar sign, and I just wrote money, and we've talked about it. The love of money, not money itself, but the love of money is the root of all evil, as the Bible says. And the key point that was made is that technological, infrastructural, informational, and financial changes aided and abetted military and bureaucratic exertions on behalf of cotton growers. Technologically, the advent of the steamboat, infrastructural, the American road system became denser and of higher quality. Informational, there became a growing number of newspapers that was able to enhance reliability, and spread the knowledge about those markets. And then financial changes, the expanding network of state and private banks. And they held deposits of the federal government, widening the availability of credit and boosting the nation's money supply. This I found very disturbing that um, whites were able to get loans and cash from banks, not only to buy land, but to also to buy slaves. They were able to mortgage people. And I put down loans from the federal government. So essentially the federal government was providing providing white migrants with the means to support slavery. And then the cotton economy's gravity pulled slavery center in the United States toward the South and West. And the slave trade that is, moved with it. We will continue to explore this chapter on choices.